Hello, Welt here. I'm a 6th-year medical student of UI, and in today's video, I want to talk about how I study in medical school. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Here's a little background if you're watching me for the first time. Besides being a medical student, I'm also an entrepreneur, a startup founder, I'm a researcher. So really, I'm pressed on time. There's literally not enough time for me to do everything I need to do, and in the middle of all of this extracurricular activities I actually have to do, I need to do well my academics too. So my study technique or my study approach is one that helps me study very effectively in very little time and actually helps me maximize my study time each day, like to optimize for every little free time I get. Now let's go into details on how I actually study. So the first thing I do is to start early. I start to study early enough in every posting in medical school. Medical school is a really long one. They tell us it is marathon and not sprint because we are going for a really long time, and the way medical school runs is that there are postings, and each posting can last for between 2 weeks to a month. Some might last for 2 months. But at the end of each posting, we always write an end of posting test, and this end of posting test is usually like an exam because all those tests will add up for the MB exams we write. In the span of 6 years of medical school, we write about 4 MB, but we write a lot of end of postings in between. So what I do at the beginning of each posting, I try to start to study as early as possible because I know not studying early is going to lead to frustration, and I'm not so good at those 9 minutes cramming. I know myself that some people are very good at it. Like I'll sit with them right now and we're trying to read the same material. In like half the time, they've already downloaded everything to their brain. It doesn't really work for me that way. I really need time to digest the material for it to actually stick. I need to understand the material for it to be, for me to be able to recall it and actually apply this knowledge. So I start early and I stay consistent. Talking about staying consistent, there are actually times when for like a whole month, I study every single day. It might not be serious studying, it might just be like 1 page or 2 pages of a slide, but I actually try to be as consistent as possible. Each week I try to read some things. As we are doing this stuff, I try my best to squeeze in time to read. The next thing I do is to study on the go. There might be no time to actually sit down. When I learned this, when I decided to apply this in my study schedule, my study strategy, it actually changed a lot for me. Before, I would always say I will study when I can sit down in a quiet room to read and blah blah blah. Well, there might not be that time. I might really not have that time to sit down and chill and actually study all those things. So what I learned to do now is to study on the go. I try my best. Sometimes I could just be in school, maybe when I'm not chatting and chilling with my friends, I could just open my slide on my phone and just read some of the lecture notes. And sometimes when I get back home, I might be tired, maybe just about to sleep. I could just read maybe 1 page or 2 pages. I learn hands-on too because medicine is both practical and theory. So you are reading something, you're also seeing it on the word, and then you are going to encounter a lot of doctors, a lot of people that are going to teach you. So all this process, I actually try to learn as much as possible. So there was actually a time I believe that I could not really learn by listening in class, especially in my early years of medical school. I always found going to class, waste of time because you really need to go to school. Really need to go to class. I have told myself, especially when I read that all those learning styles are myths, and every student should actually learn with combination of all the learning styles. One should not say I'm one particular type of learner and all these other learning styles, I can't really use them. It's like shortchanging yourself. So since then, I've been trying to learn as much as I can on the go. Like when someone is teaching us, I just try my best to listen. I'll get as much as I can. The rest I can't, I'll go supplement it when I get home. Probably read a little on it. The next thing I do is prioritization. There are times when I could go scot-free, not reading regularly in school. Like there are some postings that do not require as much time, as much effort, because they are just less demanding. So this time I try to spend more of this time on the extracurricular things I have to do. And then there are times when the posting is actually very demanding, or when exam is coming, I know that okay, now boy, this is not the time for all those things. You have to like dial down a little on all those things to give more time to my medical school work. So I do a lot of this prioritization, and I think we've spent about 7 years already, no thanks to all the industrial actions, the COVID break and stuff. So I think over the years, that's enough time to actually get good at prioritizing. The next thing I do is to use effective studying techniques. So I actually started learning how to learn in my 200 level. After my 100 level, I did quite well in my 100 level. I actually got A's in all but 2 of my courses where I got B's. But I knew that my study technique then was not efficient because I spent a lot of time in the reading room to study, and I feel like that time could have been more effectively used. And I was right. 200 level, I learned to be more efficient. I started learning about the effective study techniques, which is part of what this channel is actually about. So if you're interested in studying technique and learning to learn, subscribe to the channel because I have more amazing videos coming up in the future. So, but in summary, yeah, some of the study technique I use active recall, I use spaced repetition, I use interleaving, I use practice testing. These are study techniques I use to study. And finally, for exam preparation, I mentioned earlier that at the beginning of the posting, I actually start to study early. I try my best to start early. But when exam is near, I make a plan for that particular exam or that particular test. One of the things I do is to list out all the topics I'm meant to learn, because most of the posting will tell us the topics we need to know for that particular exam. So I like to write them out so that I can tick them off. So the ones I've read, I tick them off. To actually know that you know something, you should be able to recall it. So I try to actively recall as much of that information as possible. So if I can go over the information, like trying to recall a particular topic, and I see that I still know a good part of it, I could double tick it to know that, oh, this topic, I'm very good at it. And then I start to do past questions early too. Like past questions actually also help me know what topics I'm good at and what topics I'm not that good at. And also, besides listing out the topics, I also try to gather as many of the previous past questions on that particular exam as possible and say, okay, these are the list, or this is the list of past questions I'm going to do for this exam to be ready for it. And actually all those things help. Sometimes I make the plan, but because I get busy with some other things, I might not be able to like go through and do everything the way I wanted. But when I do, I see like it helps a lot. It significantly helps. So that's the end of this video. I hope it has been helpful in some ways. That's how I study as a medical student in my 600 level. I'd like to know how you study. What level are you? Are you in university? Are you in secondary school? And how do you study? Is there anything you picked from this video? And if you have any video you want me to make in the future, you can also drop that in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.